example, Casemiro, after conceding a penalty, which we did think wasn't a penalty. What do you think of the game today? How do you feel? Talk to me.
I think the way the game is right now, any referee is going to give that a penalty, and that was a really reckless move from his part. So I did not think that he was really thinking when he went in. But you cannot lose focus, not in a crucial game like this, not in the dying minutes.
Absolutely.
You just can't.
So yeah, same thing. The big thing was I saw that Casemiro actually had that ball covered, but you know, in the heat of the moment, players like that who want to prove themselves, he come off the bench. He almost actually scored a header right after that. But it's a great fight from United. You just know that no one will ever count us out. Every single time we've gone down, except for a few games, we've come back. And right after they scored, I told Avi, I was like, we don't ever give up. It was the 89th minute. I said we get at least 3 minutes, and they gave us 6, and then absolutely. So they believe in the system.
Sam, what do you think of the game today, mate?
I thought it was pretty good for the most part. Second half, I think in the final third, they were kind of missing some chances, missing some passes. So in order to that, missed some opportunities. And of course, you miss chances like that. The transition from offense to defense, all right, is pretty big. So I thought they had to just sit kind of in and defend. And when they had the ball, they were able to break and get up to the top. And then, once they got in the final third, it was bad pass here, bad pass there, bad cross.
Yep.
So definitely think they missed some opportunities in the second half. But again, bouncing back, in previous years, they never would have did that. I mean, after they would have scored a goal there, they wouldn't even try to.
Heads would have dropped.
Heads would have dropped. Yeah, they definitely would have tried to come back. But yeah.
So you're seeing a new United resilience now. They're more mentally tougher, not to give up, not to drop it, just keep going to the final whistle. Is that what you're seeing now?
Yeah. Because with Eddingham, like they said, he wants players that are going to perform. So you're going to perform. You kind of see how he's changed some starting lineups. Some players haven't been starting, some players have been starting. He's kind of dropped some players. So now you have some accountability with players to where hey, I got to perform. And so with that mentality, they're going to be like, hey, I got to go out there and make it happen. Otherwise, there's players that are going to go in there and do it. Especially some of these youngsters. Loggett comes in and he tries to make something happen. So I think that accountability right now, because in past years the same lineup would have been in, the same players would have been in, nothing would have changed. So now it's just kind of like, hey, let me try to find that energy to bring to the squad whenever I'm on the field. So make sure I'm still getting that play time.
And it's Coach Sam, by the way. Give the man some respect.
Right, Coach Sam. Right, Tracy, who was your man of the match today for Man United? Or who was the man? Who stood up for Man United's team today?
To me, that's a hard question, because you're kind of asking me which player underperformed.
You can say the whole team.
Which player underperformed less? That's the question that you're really asking me. And the reason I say that is because we actually played our better game in the first half.
Yes.
We played in their half, in their box mostly.
In the first half.
But all of that counts for nothing if you don't score,
100%.
as we've seen.
Yep.
And so I felt like we had a lot of chances. I feel like Rashford keeps shooting directly at the keeper, which is just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You're not going to create a hole inside the keeper and that's going to go through.
Yeah, he did that against Omanaya, against Newcastle, against Spurs. It's the same thing. He keeps hitting it on the keeper.
Yeah, and we don't cross the ball enough. I feel like we keep going for these grounded passes, and when they're playing with 10 men in the box, it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that ball where it needs to go. And to be honest, yes, I think if you just ask me that question, I think Bruno comes to mind.
Bruno?
Only because he took shots as opposed to some others who really didn't take shots.
Too much over passing.
Yeah, I think he had more of a let's get in their face, let's get in their box, let's make the keeper work for it approach, which really I feel like everybody should have had that. But I think overall, just when you look at our performance today, coming from the Tottenham game, we just looked like it was 2 steps backwards.
Yes.
It really did. And we're going to have games like that where we're not consistent, where we see a little drop-off. But these games are going to be very crucial when it comes down to just a couple of points here and there between us playing Champions League and us playing Europa League.
Yeah.
And these games matter. These big games, they matter very much. We cannot drop points. I feel like it was our game to win today.
Yep.
The fact that we salvaged a draw, I guess, kind of makes the other team feel like they lost.
Yes.
But again, we should have done better in that first half.
Absolutely.
Man of the match.
For me, the Butcher. If you don't know who he is, you're not a fan. Anyway, he was on it, man. Like playing high up, making sure that the back line was taken care of. even when Varane went down, he put the team on his back, was sweeping away some of the balls, making sure he kept checking people. He would, even if somebody bowed up to him, he bowed back up to him. He doesn't care. And everybody's like,
fearless.
He's too short to play. He's too short to play. I think if you have heart, you can play this game. You can play this game, especially this match in particular. Yeah. We needed a win, but I'll take this draw because it showed
we
that we
didn't deserve to lose.
Exactly. It still showed that we have some heart. And even though 89th minute, I think is when they scored that goal, and we still showed up, 6 minutes left, and still put one in. And Casemiro, good job on your first goal, brother, for the team.
Coach Sam, round us up.
Yeah, I definitely got to go with Martinez as well.
Martinez,
yeah, because I think again, they feed off that energy. They never had players that kind of just was like, hey, let's go. Same as Bruno, but I think Martinez just kind of brings I think he brings a different level to it from what you want. And, again, when he gets stuck in for tackles, he goes in there, wins it. And again, he doesn't back down. He's like very determined, very fearless back there. And I think that they feed off that energy of him being like
there was
that.
all this talk about his height and whether or not he'd be physically agile,
Exactly.
whether or not he would be fit for the Premier League. This guy plays like he's 7 feet tall.
He
plays like he's 7 feet tall.
You heard it from Houston Red Army. They're happy we got a result. We go there with pride. We got a game on Thursday.